everyone, this is FantasyEsque, and welcome back to the Sims 4 Vampire Amazon Royal Saga with the Salazar Coven. We are picking up at the Winter Escape with our ladies, continuing, I should say, from the previous episode. And everyone here, they're spending some time with Queen Eden, chatting about this new child that is going to be born. And then we have Meredith on the piano. She's trying to play, doing her best so that she can express her good intentions of, good health and beauty towards this child that is going to be joining us very soon. And her sister, Lagatha, is being really supportive in the background because she knows that piano is not a skill that Meredith possesses at all. Meredith has no musical talent. Like, none whatsoever. In fact, I think Guinevere and Eden are the only ones with musical talent, and they are quite good at the organ, the pipe organ. But Meredith, even though this isn't something that she knows how to do that well, she wanted to express her excitement and her heart, basically, to the Queen through this, which is why she's doing that. And so Lagatha is being supportive in the background, trying to encourage her sister, because she knows why her sister's doing it, and she knows her sister is trying to fit in, even as an immortal, an adult, a member of the council, a scholar. There's still a part of Meredith that very desperately wants to fit in, and pleasing the Queen is a way of doing that where possible. So let's have a really quick chat about what happened in the mini-movie. Basically, everyone was congratulating Eden on getting pregnant. The Queen gave her thanks to the goddess for this blessing. And Catherine was commenting that now the royal bloodline will continue. And Eden seems to be very aware of, blindly expecting that it's going to be a girl, even though that's the intention behind trying for a baby, because she said if it's a daughter, then yes. And then Guinevere kind of jumped in, and Guinevere over here, we haven't gotten to see exactly her feelings about this whole thing. I feel like she was being a little bit sarcastic and snide. She was basically throwing shade, I think, at the Dravages. She was saying that she was saying to Lagatha, you two must be happy about this. She was talking about Lagatha and Meredith. You two must be happy about this because this child will be cousin to the Dravages. And she was telling this to Lady Catherine. She was talking to Catherine about this almost, but it was a comment at Lagatha. And then Lagatha, she stood up and she went to join them on the couch and she said, "And the dragons, Lady Guinevere." And I feel like there's a little bit of rebellion on Lagatha's side when it comes to Guinevere, because I feel like Lagatha is, one of the few people maybe aware of Guinevere's ambition and her intentions. And I think she's one of the few people who notices that Guinevere doesn't refer to the Queen as Your Majesty, right? So when everyone else, they kind of just say Guinevere, kind of leaving that title in front of her name blank, Lagatha says Lady Guinevere. Lady Guinevere, reminding her that she is no longer royalty, she is nobility now, and they're on the same level pretty much. So there was that, and then Guinevere kind of stepped back a bit, and she was like, of course. And then the Queen said, well, regardless, it's a good thing, because it's going to strengthen our relations within the coven. So the Queen is very much fond of the idea that the Dravages and the dragons are going to be cousins with hopefully the new princess. And plus, this idea that a princess having relatives, female relatives within the court, whether it's in the previous generation or their own generation, is looked quite favorably upon, because it's this thing where at least the Queen has some bit of security for her child, knowing that there's going to be family to support the princess in times of hardship, right? So these people that are serving her are also bound to her daughter through blood, not just a loyalty, which may or may not be fragile depending on the people and circumstances. So there was that. And then Xiomara, she was sitting with Elaine, and she was talking to Elaine. She said, oh, well, Elaine, you must be thrilled as well. And Elaine very obviously does not look thrilled about this. Very obviously does not. But obviously she's going to hide that disappointment. And she said, yes, of course I'm thrilled. Like, it's an honor to have a royal cousin. And then Catherine, she was continuing that excitement and saying to Guinevere, we shall have to spoil her. And Guinevere said, yes, we shall. Although I don't know what yes, we shall must mean for Guinevere. What are you meaning in terms of spoiling? Because Catherine, I feel like, is going in the direction of let's spoil her with lots of love. Whereas Guinevere is kind of like, let's ruin her. So, there is that. Now, the reason why Elaine must not be thrilled about this, you'd think that, hey, if they're cousins, then wouldn't Elaine be thrilled? Well, we talked about this, I think, in the previous episode, but even though this child is going to be cousins to both the Dravagers and the dragons, it will have a stronger blood tie to the Dravagers than to the dragons, because Myron is like Ciri's twin brother, so they shared the same father, right? But Myron and Ciri, they're half-siblings to Galaxia and Saphira, so that blood is kind of a little bit more diluted when it goes over to the dragon side. So this child, through Myron, has a stronger connection to the Dravagers than to the dragons, and I think it makes Elaine uncomfortable to know that the Dravagers, through, a blood link, could have more influence over the future heiress than her own bloodline. She doesn't like that idea, like giving power to the Dravagers in that way. So anyways, we are gonna get the episode going, and the directive for, I think, like our time in the Winter Escape largely is going to be observing who communicates with who, and the feelings they kind of have towards each other, and then we can draw conclusions about maybe how they might view the Queen's pregnancy as. So, okay, Meredith, she's continuing to play, and her sister's listening to her, which is so, so sweet. I feel like that's Lagatha's way of supporting her, because Meredith has, like, no skill. She's got zero skill when it comes to this. And Xiomara's up here as well, listening to her play the piano, which I feel like is so nice. The Queen's dancing over here, enjoying the celebratory vibe of, this meeting over here. Guinevere, she's sticking very close to Catherine and chatting with Catherine over here. Now, does Catherine realize how what Guinevere is like? I feel like Catherine, when it comes to Elaine, for example, I feel like Catherine is more fond of Elaine than Elaine is fond of Catherine. I feel like Catherine views Elaine as a younger sister that she treasures. Her blood, her family, the closest thing she has to herself. Whereas Elaine views Catherine as just another member of the coven. It's a coincidence that they are tied to each other through blood, but I don't think she feels as closely to Catherine even than the Dravagers do to each other. The Dravagers, they're very, very close. They will defend each other no matter what, right? They will never turn their back on each other. Whereas these guys, they are way more fluid when it comes to that. And look at how well they're getting along, these two. Just look at them. But I don't feel as though Catherine sees kind of the darkness in Elaine. I mean, nobody does. But likewise, I don't think Catherine sees the darkness in Guinevere. She's very much blind to the fact that Guinevere has these ambitions for power and control. I don't feel like she sees it very much at all. Because growing up, right, she was never having to face the brunt of Guinevere's insults and personal attacks. Like, she never had to deal with that. Guinevere never had a problem with the dragons because as far as she was concerned, they were not impures. So, they had the proper genetic markers for pure vampires. So they never had to suffer her wrath for anything. So she kind of views Guinevere with the respect that a princess deserves, right? Even though she's no longer a princess, Catherine still has that respect for her. So, as far as she's concerned, Guinevere's intentions are clear and are pure. There is nothing wrong with her. She knows her place, but she also is from a privileged bloodline, right? So, yeah, there is that going on. And the queen, she's just completely blind to these kind of things. I feel like Meredith and Lagatha are in this kind of mid position where they are aware of different people, like they know who to look out for and who not to. Everyone obviously is blind to Elaine, of course, but I don't think Lagatha and Meredith have ever been too close to Elaine. They've always felt this bit of like coldness from her, even though she's never done anything bad to them. They can't put their finger on it, but there's just something about Elaine that they've never been able to get close to. And oh my goodness, look at Elaine! Look at Elaine! She was like going off at her sister. Something regarding, I'm assuming, the baby. Because of that speech bubble that's come up. Oh my goodness. She's not happy. She's not happy about something. You know what? She's probably like quietly, maybe whisper arguing with Catherine about how she's being overly excited about the queen's baby that's about to be born. Obviously because she has her own concerns. She probably doesn't understand why her sister's being excited over a child that is going to be closer to the Dravagers than it's going to be to them. So yeah, she's probably frustrated about that. And Catherine's like, she's kind of brushing it off, like, oh, you're worried about silly things. Like, don't even worry about it. But no, Elaine's trying to make her case and argue her case over there. She's like, we're going to be sandwiched between the royal family and the Dravagers, and that's not a position we want to be in. Oh my goodness. My goodness. But yes, so Meredith, Lagatha, they're very aware of Guinevere in particular. And like with Catherine, they don't have a problem with Catherine. Catherine's always been that kind of mid-cousin that doesn't always have their back, but she never does anything terrible to them. So, you know, they're not wary of her, but they're not super close to her either. Guinevere, they're very, very cautious about. They know the way Guinevere thinks, the way she works. So, yeah, oh my goodness, look at Elaine. She's, like, not happy at all. She's even going off at Catherine, maybe saying how, probably like, look, she's not happy with Catherine at all. She's probably thinking, like, how could you not advise the queen, stop the queen? This isn't even the way, like, the breeding order happens. This is not the way it's traditionally done. And Catherine's over there, like, why are you behaving in this way? You should not be behaving in this way. Okay, Meredith, I'm going to let you take a break from the piano. You can go off and do what you want over there. But yeah, I definitely feel like Lagatha is the stronger personality. Definitely. She's, like, not afraid to stand up to Guinevere when it needs to be. She will not disrespect Guinevere, or, you know, embarrass her, but she will stand up if and when required. So, yeah. You know what? The more I'm playing with these guys in this new generation, the more I feel as though Lagatha is my favorite vampiress of this generation. Like, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? I actually really, really like Lagatha. As well as being, in my opinion, the most beautiful. I think she's possibly my favorite just because of her personality and, like, the situation that she and her sister are in. She's, like, in the middle of all the forces, I feel like, in the coven. They're not extremely to one side or to the other. They kind of have to play by the ear and be cautious. And I don't remember which sister it was that actually supported the queen and supported Guinevere, because things might have changed since then. But if I just check this, okay, the queen's closer to Meredith than Lagatha, and Guinevere's closer to Lagatha than to Meredith. So I might be wrong, but I'm assuming in the previous generation, Meredith supported Eden, and Lagatha supported Guinevere, like when they were fighting for the throne. Right. I think Meredith was like one of two people who supported Eden. Everyone else supported Guinevere. So even though, you know, Lagatha is able to stand up to Guinevere, and she's cautious of Guinevere, she did want to support Guinevere as the future queen. Or she was hoping Guinevere would be the future queen. But now that she's not, I mean, knowing the way Guinevere is, she's probably very, very cautious of the way she talks and the way she acts, because she feels like Eden's throne is kind of unsecure. Whereas Meredith, you know, she was bullied by Guinevere when she was younger, so she does not look that favorably upon her. There's this, like, farce almost, right, between her and Guinevere, for everyone else to see that, yes, they're on good terms, la-di-da. But actually, she doesn't trust Guinevere at all, and that's why she very strongly supported Eden, because she did not want to see their bully, someone who terrorized them, on the throne. And even though Meredith and Lagatha, you know, supported different princesses, their relationship never saw a rift. They've always been very close to one another, and I think they've respected each other's decisions, you know, regarding those kind of things. But yes, Meredith very much wants to please Eden. Now that Eden's the queen and Meredith is in this position where she's part of the queen's council, you know, she's considered as like the queen's inner circle right now, and she wants to do whatever she can to please the queen and make sure that the queen is happy and that this rule continues the way it's continuing and everything is quite sweet. Look at Guinevere. She's like being mischievous to Meredith. Just look at that. She still teases Meredith and such in public, but she makes it more, she makes it a bit more subtle than she used to when they were younger. So yeah. But okay, everyone I think might want to rest up just a little bit. How are you feeling? Okay, nobody has to go drink. But why don't you go and, is there a bathroom down here? Yes, why don't you go and take a nice bath? Have a bath with a soak? What is this? Inappropriate behavior. From who, I wonder? From who? I don't know. Okay, and Guinevere, she is going to continue dancing. The queen is playing with some toys. Look at this. The queen is still childish. Just look at this. See, right now she has this excuse, though, right? That this baby's coming. She's thinking about the child. And she's preparing for that. But if she wasn't pregnant, this would not be looked very well upon, like favorably upon. That as a queen, she's not paying attention to important things, and she's spending her time doing frivolous activities, you know, playing and such, like a little girl would. But okay, I'm gonna leave them be, and we'll catch up with them at some other point, maybe when we have something a bit more exciting happening. Maybe if anyone has, you know, some fun whims. Guys, the queen is in her second trimester, and she looks so cute in her sleepwear. Just look at this. Oh my goodness, that's so... Oh jeez, no, not that. Not the chair, not the chair. But look at how cute she looks. We can see a bump now. Aww. Okay, I don't know why she's so sad. I don't know why she's so sad, but she looks so adorable, doesn't she? I love the sleepwear they have on. I mean, even Guinevere. She looks so nice. And Meredith, and where is our lovely Xiomara? Oh my goodness, they just look so adorable in their sleepwear. I am absolutely in love. But yes, we don't have any interesting whims like I had hoped, unfortunately, because they changed the whim system to something completely and utterly ridiculous. And then, of course, the potions don't work. I've tried a mod to cycle the whims. That doesn't work at all. So I'm left with whatever the game throws my way, which, in the case of the Vampire Amazons for some reason, seems to be very, very, very clogged up. Like, with the Royal Witch Kingdoms, I at least get my whims cycling when my Sims sleep, when I jump between households, but not the case with the Vampire Amazons. I don't know why. They seem to hold on to their whims for a crazy amount of time. So I am left until they, you know, give me something to work with. But I figured the queen's in her second trimester. We cannot be bothered waiting for all of that. We want to dive in and see how adorable she looks. And also, I'm sure these guys will be, you know, busy conversing with each other and building relationships. So, yeah, I'll let them do that. And I just love how the Dravjas just gravitate to each other when they're talking about things or when they're spending time with each other. It is just too cute. Too flippin' cute. But I think some of them were getting quite thirsty, and with Xiomara, even though, I mean, we've tried hunting in the last episode, which I don't know how successfully that went. It took definitely a while to sort things out, and we have realized we cannot summon our blood givers to the winter escape, but I wonder if you could temporarily get one of your blood givers to join the winter escape. Perhaps, maybe. If we could invite to join the winter escape, and then we could send them back and, you know, bring in another one to join us. That would be quite interesting, would it not? Do we have a blood giver that wishes to come and join us, perhaps? Or not? Where are they? Oh, okay, yes, we can. Nice. So we can actually, in this way, I suppose, summon a blood giver to come join us and tend to the needs of our ladies so they can feast. Nice, nice. How many blood givers can we get? Okay, I'm assuming we can only get, because you can only have, I think, is it 7 Sims? I don't flippin' know. But let's try and encourage her to join us. Can we not call her over? You know what? We can add to group, and then we will summon her. We'll summon her to the manor, and then we can send it back. Can we not? Can we not send her back? Well, that is just awkward. Maybe if she comes, we'll have an option to do that for her. Could we... Yeah, send home. Nice! So we can call over these blood givers one by one, and then once we are done using them as we need, we can just send them back and call another one. And, you know, really, the physician should be taking care of these things and doing exactly this, because it is part of their duty to make sure that the vampires are well cared for and fed. So, I'm gonna get... Who's thirsty? Okay, I'm just gonna get everyone to go in a round. So we'll get Xiomara to drink first from this blood giver. She's going to compel the blood giver for a deep drink. Let's go ahead and do that. Feed yourself before you feed the others. And then as soon as that's done, we are gonna send her back. So we'll drink from her, send her back, and then we'll summon over the next one. So I'm glad we managed to work something out. I mean, relying on the plasma fruit, really not the best way to go about things, I feel. Because it does barely anything. These vampiresses, they need fresh blood. Okay, nice. We're gonna send this person back, hopefully. Maybe once they're done being passed out, they're gonna head back, go home, go on. Can we call over someone else? Well, we have to, I suppose, we have to send this one back first. And probably have to wait for her to wake up before we do that. Which is fine. I don't know how long it's going to take her to get up. But we'll jump back in. Meredith, can you keep it together for a little bit longer? Hopefully she can. Hopefully she can. I mean, worst comes to worst. We've got some plasma fruit lined up. That is okay. Also, I have gone ahead and actually cleared up all of the silly technology in this escape. So we don't have the computer here anymore. All the science equipment I've taken out, replaced with a cards table and a foosball table. So ladies can entertain themselves in a more acceptable way. And also the... whatever future cube machine that we had, not the future cube, but you know, the little blocks machine, the holographic one we had here and downstairs, I've got rid of that, thankfully, so we don't have to see them doing strange things for vampires who are supposed to be in a fantasy kind of universe. So there we go, one less thing to worry about. Are you awake yet? You're still passed out? Okay. That's fine, I suppose. You can stay passed out. Okay, one of Xiomara's whims have cleared up. I'm hoping that the others have their whims cleared up as well, but I don't know, we're not getting much. Okay, she's awake. Can we send her home? Can we send her home? Is she going home? Is she? I mean, I'm trying to send her home. I don't know if she's going home. I hope she is, because she needs to for us to summon someone else. Come on. let's move on. Let's go back to I don't know whether they're in Forgotten Hollow. They're based in Forgotten Hollow. Yes. Okay, bye blood giver. We need another blood giver. Yes, okay, good. So we can actually organize the feedings this way. Our physician can organize the feedings in this way. When they're on, a holiday or a vacation. It definitely takes more effort than when you're back at the castle because you can just summon them all at once. But, it's fine. It's fine because this is one way to do things. Okay, hold on a second, honey. Hold on a second. We don't want you to be wandering around out here. So let's add to group. And then we're going to summon her inside. Yep. Summon them inside. And then we'll get Meredith to drink up when she finally gets around to joining us at the manor. And, seriously, it's actually a lot easier when you have just the 4 vampires to deal with. Because imagine having a household of 8 and having to deal with all of their thirsts in this way. You would go mental. It would take so much time. Okay, Meredith, let's come on down. And don't worry about a respectful introduction. Like, what? No, you just drink. You just go down and drink, honey. The physician has organized for a blood giver to come and feed you, so you just go down and drink. You don't even worry about anything else. Nothing else. She looks so lovely in white, I have to say. Meredith just looks so sweet and good in white. So nice. Love it so much on her. So fitting. I mean, would you see this almost innocent looking gal as a deadly vampiress? Probably not. I mean, to be honest, even in her dark form, she just looks so lovely. She looks so sweet and lovely and happy. I mean, she is happy, but I like you so much, Meredith. I feel like I love your sister more, but still, I like you as well. I like you a lot as well. Okay, once you are done with your drink, I suppose we have to wait for this blood giver to wake up and not be passed out anymore. That's fine. That's fine. The Queen and Guinevere, they're going okay. They can last. They can deal with it for a little bit, I think. They can deal with it. And how are these guys going? They're going great. They're going great. So I'm thinking that we might not continue the winter escape for that long. I usually put these guys in for like 2 days so that we at least don't feel rushed in, spending the winter escape here and going back to the castle. But the winter escape, which was I think on Thursday, is now over. So I feel like we can head back to the castle and start working on a few things back there. I think that would be nice. Like, we can focus on some potions with Xiomara and some more of the spellcasting stuff. So I think we might do that. I mean, we've stayed long enough for the Queen to be in her 2nd trimester, so I feel as though it's a good time for us to wrap up and head back there. And then, we can deal with Guinevere and Eden being fed. That's going to be so much easier. So I think everyone has bonded just a little bit while they've been here. We have kind of seen the attitude that the different Sims, I suppose, have towards the Queen's pregnancy. But why don't we head back to the castle and we can kind of spend the last bit of the episode over there. We are back at the castle. The physician has summoned over the first blood givers while she's busy experimenting on some potions so that Guinevere and the Queen can get themselves a drink. So that is exactly what they will be doing, and it'll be so much easier now that we have the blood givers, like a bunch of them, at the castle. Now some of them have been drunk from, so we have to be careful about which ones we pick. Okay, this one seems to have a fresh supply of plasma for us. So Guinevere is going to go prowling. She's going to go ahead and get herself a drink. And we have invited Catherine and Elaine and Lagatha over so that they can spend some time with us in the castle. So kind of, I really, really like having that function, like that group of the queens, so that she can summon over the members who aren't staying with us in the household over as frequently as possible, so that we can go ahead and spend time with them, right? Because I don't want Lagatha and Elaine to be forgotten just because they're not directly part of the inner court, like at the castle. I very much do not want that. I look at Guinevere. Doesn't she look like a Barbie doll? She really does. In her dark form. She really does. Okay, Eden, it's time for you to find someone to drink from, preferably. This one I think has been drunk from. This one I don't think. Yeah, so let's go drink from her. Come on, Queenie, let's go drink. Let's go drink. Okay, she's gonna come here. She's gonna drink from this blood giver. Now these guys, I mean, we've mentioned it before, but they essentially worship these vampires. They consider these vampires of like divine lineage. So for them, even though it's a painful experience to have your blood drunk, it's considered like an honor, right? It's something they volunteer for, which interestingly, is very different to the way things were done back in Generation 1. Like in the very beginning, the vampires used to kidnap these humans and elves, and they used to brainwash them into staying in Forgotten Hollow, in the Prey Garden, and offering up their blood. Like, for some reason, because of the way the vampires had scrambled their minds, they could never think to escape, even though they used to live in fear of the vampires. Whereas now, in the 6th generation, you actually have this cult of people, of women, who kind of worship the vampires and freely give up their blood. So yeah, they really, really look up to these vampires. So that's very fascinating. Very, very fascinating. But okay, now that everyone has had their fill, Xiomara, I don't think you need to drink at this point. So we will let these guys go off and return to their abode. I mean, they have, replaced the flowers in the Prey Gardens, the 2 chapels we have in Forgotten Hollow. That's where they're based. But unlike the previous flowers who were kind of forced into servitude, these guys volunteer for it. It's part of their very, very strange religious practice. So there we go. There we go. You guys still don't have interesting whims for me to work with, which is very frustrating. Not gonna lie. But you know what? I saw these two right at the end before we left the Winter Escape. They were having like a romantic moment with each other just by themselves without me doing anything. And I thought that was so cute. But then at the same time, see, look, another one. They're flirting with each other. Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice that I don't have to do anything and they're actually moving their relationship ahead. So good. But yes, while that was happening, Xiomara was going off at Elaine. She and Elaine just were not getting along well with each other. And I found that so fascinating. So I wonder if Xiomara, like, either knows about Elaine's nature. Maybe not that. You know what it was? I think because Xiomara and Catherine are in a relationship, Xiomara is more observant when it comes to things about Catherine and around Catherine. And she probably noticed that while Meredith was playing the piano, Elaine was going off at Catherine, like, on the side. And everyone else kind of, they weren't paying attention to it, but I think Xiomara noticed. And so afterwards, when Catherine and Elaine were talking to each other, she was going off at Elaine, probably for that reason. Because she's, protective of Catherine. She has feelings for Catherine. So, she doesn't like it when Catherine's younger sister talks to her in that way, with that tone. She does not appreciate it whatsoever. Okay, the queen is feeling tense and stressed. What is she doing? She's up here chatting with Lagatha, which is fine. I feel like Lagatha gives the queen a little bit of comfort because Lagatha is the oldest member of the coven right now. So, now that, the previous generation, their mothers, their aunts, they're all kind of dead and gone, Lagatha is the closest thing to a mother figure that she has, which is very interesting, and kind of makes sense as well, because, Lagatha is the brood mother. She's going to be looking after all the children, so she has to kind of be the most motherly one, although not every brood mother has been maternal in the past. Some of them have just not wanted children at all, like Rowan, who ended the bloodline with herself because she didn't want to have kids. But yes, that is that. Are you going to go dance? She's going to go ease the tension a little bit by dancing. And you know what, Queenie? You deserve to. You deserve to dance and enjoy yourself. So why not? Now, Xiomara, are you practicing your alchemy? Because I feel like you need to be. Actually, she needs to go take a shower. You know what? Take a steamy shower. Why not? Take a steamy shower. And in this generation, I realized we don't have a bathtub in the castle. We just have showers. But that's fine. It's practical. So go have a shower and then come out and do some more experimenting. Now, I can't do anything with the garden because it is winter, so nothing in the garden is going to be growing, I think. Oh, well, this one seems like it's kind of growing. They had stopped for a second there, but I don't know. Apparently, it's doing just about fine. Oh, never mind. It's because this is a fall plant and this is a... Potatoes are winter plants? Interesting. I didn't know that. Summer and spring. Okay, so these two, they're dormant, but the winter plants are growing. So that's kind of interesting. Okay, once you're done, then you go ahead, experiment on some stuff. Like right now, she only knows the one potion, I think. She only knows Good Fortune. She knows Good Fortune, and she, unfortunately, does not have the ingredients to make that. But we would like her to learn Nimble Mind, Magical Aura, Emotional Stability, and Curse Cleansing. Like, those are the other potions that are unbanned. So it'd be good for her to stock up on that, because I feel like it'd be useful for us. Especially once, they start having kids and stuff. But right now, I feel like maybe the Emotional Stability would be quite useful. Maybe even the Magical Aura, like, if she could get that done, like, for example, if the Queen's giving birth, I feel like that whole event would be centered around the Queen, so it makes sense for the Queen to have this ethereal aura about her, so everyone knows that she's the highlight. Or maybe that's, like, the alchemical way to bestow or show the goddess's blessing on a particular sim. Yeah, I think that would be kind of an interesting direction to take with the potions and how the other vampires in the coven might observe its reaction, like might observe its effects. So okay, you continue, and I just love the setup with like the fireplace in the background, her making potions. It just feels so cozy, and I feel like it's gonna be more fun once we have like potions, wafting from here when we start stacking up the cupboards here, the lockers, the cupboards. They seem like locker cupboards, but we start stocking these up with potions. That's slightly ajar, like it's gonna look so good. But okay, guys, with that said and done, I'm gonna leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope everyone is excited about the Queen's pregnancy, and at this rate, I think probably in the next episode we'll probably have the Queen's baby in the next episode, if not the episode after, because she's definitely going to be going into her third trimester when we come back. She's got like 10 hours left, so we'll see. But okay, guys, with that said and done, I'm going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.